Hey, what's up, bro? Welcome back. I bought a lot of hoopties in the marketplace, and actually one of the last videos I was teaching you how to buy a Corvette in the marketplace so that you didn't get scammed. I was telling you all the things you should avoid, but today I'm actually gonna tell you times where I've gone into deals, into purchases, and shit has just gone sideways. And these stories are so stupid that they're actually quite comical. So I think we're both gonna have a blast. I'm telling you these stories in faith that you learn from them, keep in the back of your mind. That way, if you do run into these situations, you know to run, get away, and hopefully you don't get bamboozled. Especially when you're buying sketchy cars, you're gonna deal with sketchy people. It only makes sense, right? Like attracts like. So I'm gonna take you way back. I must have been in high school when this happened, right? So I was looking for a 1970 Pontiac Le Mans. Is that how you say it? Le Mans? Yeah, I'm not French, so part of my French. On the messages, the guy's like, yeah, come and see it. It's all ready for you, blah, blah, blah. It starts, it runs, you can go take it on a test drive. I show up, and this guy was one of the sketchiest characters you've ever seen in GTA. It was kind of getting dark, so this guy just comes out of nowhere from a dark alley, right? And I was like, okay, cool. I walked around the car. So in the pictures, it looked quite nice because he took him from a distance. Once you got close to the car, every single corner of the roof had big rust holes that you can put a finger or two through them. It was kind of like a bowling ball. But that's to be expected, right? Sometimes you get catfished. The pictures look good, person, not so much. So, I mean, I kind of had that in the back of the mind. But I show up and I ask him, oh, I guess, yeah, it's all right. Let me take it for a drive. And the guy's like, oh, yeah. Oh, shit, I don't have the keys on me. And I was like, oh, no, how could that be? I thought you said the car was ready for me to drive. And he's like, oh, actually, I think the keys might be in there, bro. He pulls out a big coat hanger. So he gets that shit, tries to use it as a Slim Jim. I was waiting there for like 20 minutes, just standing behind him, just looking at him like, bro, I already don't want to buy this shit. Why are you taking so long? I even told him, hey, if you can't open it, man, I can't drive it, I'm out of here. And then this guy looked at me like, no, bro. Wait, here, you try it. So he gives me the freaking coat hanger, and I was so mad. I grabbed the Slim Jim, I put it through the glass, and I was like, this guy thinks just because I'm Mexican, I can open this. Within 5 tries, that thing was open. So anyway, I cranked the car, I started. And the funny thing is that this car had a flamethrower kit. So it had like an ignition coil at the exhaust pipe and it was spitting flames. And we actually made the grass from behind the car catch on fire. This is how sketchy the whole situation was, right? The car almost caught on fire when I was like, okay, can we take it on a test drive? And the guy's like, oh, actually, we can't take it on a test drive because you see, these tires are flat. The car's been sitting here for like 3 years. And I'm just sitting there like, bro, I just wasted 30 minutes of my life that I'm not gonna get back. In this case, I didn't get scammed out of my money, but I definitely got scammed out of my time. First impressions are pretty important. If the seller looks sketchy, the whole transaction is gonna be sketchy. When you're buying or selling car parts, you run into a lot of the same issues, especially when you're trying to sell really cheap stuff. You run into the worst of people, that wanna bargain. They want things for free. And for example, I was trying to sell an OEM Integra steering wheel for like $20, man. I don't need it. It was in good condition. I didn't want to throw it away. I also didn't want to give it out for free. I was like, this thing's at least worth $20, right? So I posted up in the marketplace, and the amount of people that were trying to bargain on a $20 steering wheel is unbelievable. This guy just out of the blue just texted me saying this: if you don't send me more pictures, don't ever think that I'm gonna buy this. I'm like, bro, what? For $20, I'd be happy if all I got was pictures at least. I know damn well you'd be paying $20 for feet pics. So what the are you on about, man? I know your secrets. This other guy hits me up. He's like, $20 is too much for a steering wheel, man. What's the lowest you can go? Like, bro, I'm built like Kevin Hart, man. This is the lowest I can go. There was one time I was selling one of my Integras. The person that was trying to buy the car asked me all the questions possible. So I had a feeling that this person was serious, that they wanted to buy the car. We set up a date, we set up a time. Okay, we're gonna meet at this spot. It was a pretty open parking lot in front of a grocery store. They're not showing up to a dark alley, you know, none of that, right? So this is the perfect place so you can do an inspection. There's good lighting, they can walk around the car. So this was a place that I've done a lot of deals in. It works out perfect every time, right? So this person's like, no, I don't wanna meet there. Okay, where do you wanna meet? And they're like, at your place. And I'm like, oh, it's like that? Chill, I'm not that easy. You haven't even bought me a drink. I was like, no, I don't really wanna meet at my house. Let's meet over here. This is a good spot because this and that. And the person like, no, I'm only gonna go see the car if it's at your place. I'm like, well, that's not happening. Let's do this. let's go see the car, let's go inspect it over there in public, all that. If everything turns out good and you want to finalize the transaction, then we can go to my house, and if that makes you feel more comfortable. And the person's like, oh no, I don't feel comfortable going in public. Like, how does that make sense? The reason why I'm telling you this story is because be aware if somebody tells you that, what they're trying to do is they're trying to figure out where you keep the car, and guess what's gonna happen? When it's time to meet, they're not gonna show up, they're gonna stop responding, especially if it's a Honda, right? It makes sense. They want to know your address. That way that night when you go to sleep, they can just go in, pull a little Slim Jim and steal your car. Anyways, remember that blue Miata that had a turbo in it? I got so many people interested in the car, and these people were that serious that they wanted to buy the car. Though the car was in good shape, they'll see the car, they're like, oh, this car's pretty solid. Oh, this car looks better than in the pictures. Oh, this car drives pretty nice. And guess what will happen at the end? They wouldn't buy the car, right? And this was so annoying because at least 5 or 6 people came down, and they'll even bring the cash, and there was nothing wrong with the car. They're just like, oh no, actually, I want to go see some other cars afterwards. And you may be seeing, oh no, they just didn't want to hurt your feelings because the car was crappy. If somebody doesn't want to buy your car, they'll tell you, no, I don't want to buy it because this and that, and they'll try to negotiate the price. These people would just straight up say, oh, it's actually a good price. Yeah, let me go home and let me think about it. So if you let them, people will scam you out of a joyride. And everybody wants some Miata, right? Until it's time to do Miata shit. The funny thing is that the excuse that one of these people said is that, oh no, the car backfires too much. But this car was a turbo. Be aware when you're gonna go see a car that it's at a big distance. This was around January of 2020, before all the crazy stuff happened. I wanted to go buy a Harley Davidson. I was texting with the guy. He told me, I got the title. Bike doesn't need anything. Bike is perfect. Let's do, I was 1,300? I think it was 2,300. And I was like, that's a great deal. Let's go see this Harley. So I got my homie. He drove me 2 hours down to the next city to go pick up the Harley. My plan was just to go there, get the Harley, buy it, ride it back. Easy transaction, right? I show up. The first thing I ask, because of previous experience, do you have the title in hand? The guy's like, oh, actually, I don't have the title. I owe a little bit of money on it, but if you want, we can go pay off the loan. I'll get the title right then and there, and then I can give it to you. And I just looked at him. I looked back at my homie, and then I looked back at the guy. I traveled 2 hours to come and see the bike, and you don't have the title. And you're like, oh no, I do have it. We just have to go get it. At this point, I'm like, fuck. So anyways, I hop in the bike. I try to go take it for a test drive. The foot brake is broken. It doesn't have a brake pedal. It only has the one on the handle. If you don't know, motorcycles have 2 brakes. They have one at the foot pedal, one over here. One of them was broken. And I told the guy, what the fuck, man? You don't have the title. The thing is broken. And he's like, oh yeah, no, actually, it was working this morning, but I stepped on the brake and it broke. I'm like, come on, bro, this guy's a fucking dumbass. I'm not driving back with my homie another 2 hours without a motorcycle. So I went through the whole thing. We did end up getting the title the same moment. The worst thing of it all, on my ride back, I noticed that this Harley felt a little bit different. It had the ape hangers, right? And every time I would go over a bump, the handlebars would come down a little bit. I go over another bump, the handlebars would come down even more. One of the times I went over a really big bump and the handlebars collapsed all the freaking way. So I had to push them back up, and keep in mind that I had a 2-hour ride back home. So the whole time I was riding, it was like riding a horse. The handlebars kept moving up and down, so I kind of have to keep them steady. It was such an uncomfortable ride. This was my first time riding a Harley. So my whole body was really numb and uncomfortable from all the vibrations that Harleys tend to have, especially a Sportster. So what you should get from this story, don't do what I did. Even if you drove 2 hours to go see this thing that you're gonna buy, don't just go through it because you're already there. It's not worth your time. You'll be saving yourself a lot more time just driving back 2 hours without anything than actually going through the pain of the whole interaction when you're dealing with somebody like this. So I was trying to sell some taillights for like $40 the other day, and this guy hits me up. He's like, bro, I don't have $40, but I want those taillights. And I'm like, oh shit, I guess maybe you should get $40 so that you can buy the taillights. This guy's like, will you take 1/8 of weed? I'm like, bro, what? That doesn't even add up. How can you have weed but you don't have $40, man? What type of drug dealer are you? Get your money right, man, then come back and see me. I don't want that shit. Go to the suburbs and sell that shit over there. And they'll probably even give you 60. So for all these reasons, I've been staying away from the marketplace. I haven't really been flipping or selling motorcycles or cars anymore. A lot of the times, if it's something small, I don't even try to make money off of it. I just throw it away. And I've been throwing some good shit away just to the point that my skin's actually turning a little bit white. But it's just something that's just not worth the time. And the amount of people that you gotta deal with, the texting back and forth, I'm not a big fan of that anymore. So I don't really go in there unless I have to. And a lot of times, sometimes I don't even want to, and I end up going and I end up finding deals and I end up buying stuff that I don't want to buy. And I'm too good at this shit. I'm too good at finding good deals. For all of that, it's just best for me to stay away from it. But that doesn't mean you should stay away from it. Go in there, take my lessons as advice and as guidance to help you out and keep you from getting your time wasted, getting your money taken, getting robbed, all of the following. Maybe in the comments, drop down below some of the stories that you have, some of the sketchy moments that you've encountered with people in the marketplace. So that was it, just a little story time for you. Go and watch the next video or the previous video or whichever one you want to watch, as long as it's from Pushing Gears. See you, bro. I'm sick.